If you don't pay attention to this video, you could be leaving over $400 USD on the table. Illuvium Beyond Wave 3 ends on February 22, 2025, and there is a ton of money up for grabs for those who are willing to engage with this part of the ecosystem. I've just started sleeving and bonding my Illuvatars, but I'm not doing it to every single thing in my collection because really only Wave 3 Illuvatars matter, and I'll show you what I mean. I will show you how to maximize your points, automatically re-sleeve all of your Illuvatars, tell you about some specific bugs to be wary of, and do all the maths for you so you know exactly how much ILV you can probably expect after the snapshot on the 22nd. They might delay the snapshot a little bit, so keep in mind that announcements could come out, but for now, you need to get everything done ASAP, right this moment. Now, first, I will show you how to unsleeve and re-sleeve your album, and then we'll get onto some more juicy stuff about which Illuvatars to bond and the best strategies for bonding them. Let's jump into this. Once we jump into the album right here, after we go to the Beyond at the top and then album on the left there, I'll just quickly zoom in on that. Album on the left, we can just click this autofill button right here. After we do that, we have several options. We have sleeve from scratch, clear previous sleeve selection, field prioritizing 1, 2, or 3. Now, what's more important is you should actually probably unsleeve everything first before doing that. I think that clears some of the back-end data and things like that when it does these calculations and actually makes it have a better outcome. So we're going to really quickly clear the sleeves. It's going to take a little while, do the little scans, and it's going to get rid of all the sleeves in my album, return to my collection, and now nothing. I have 805 Illuvatars to set. If I now do autofill, you're actually going to want to go to prioritize wave 3. This little tick box shouldn't matter for now because I cleared my album already. If you don't do that, you should probably click that. But why do I want to fill using wave 3? And that is because the wave 3 leaderboard is the one that's going to be triggering at the completion of the wave on February 22nd. Wave 1 and 2 are just in the main leaderboard and they're just distributed weekly. So big payout on February 22nd for wave 3 Illuvatars, small payouts every week for all the other Illuvatars. So we want to prioritize wave 3. And so let's do it. And we've got a purple bar this time. And there we go, 805 sleeves filled, 2 million points, 94,525. And so everything is sleeved in our album. Now, we do need to make sure to double check some of the things. So if we jump into set 1 here, and we have a look for the G-Shock promotional Illuvatars, which is like the Arcos, for example. Actually, let's jump into all of the albums. Sorry, no, let's jump back. And if we click little search button here and we search for, say, Arcos, because that's got G-Shock Illuvatars, we just want to double check. I don't know why that's not popping up. Oh, because it'll be turtle. We just want to double check to make sure that there's no bugs happening with some of these promotional Illuvatars and things like that. And so we'll quickly look in here and look to see we have a non-G-Shock and 2 G-Shocks. If we look at a little swap thing here, 1996, that's definitely the highest power. We want to double check on this one though. We do have some G-Shocks, but they are not a higher power. So I'd be double checking a lot of your promotional ones. The other really good example is things like the Terror Bird. Because the foe, you get some of the rare foes from buying a certain number of discs and things like that, and you want to make sure they're enabled in your collection as well. People are saying it's buggy and things like that. I haven't really noticed anything major, but I haven't done any really deep checking. If you have any questions regarding this, I definitely recommend jumping into the Discord to have a look. Now, which Illuvatars are worth bonding and what should you bond? If we go to the set 1 wave 3 album, just how I did with some of that other stuff before, we can see which Illuvatars I have and haven't bonded yet. And you can see that I've bonded pretty much everything except for a lot of my tier 1s. I've left the Ram Fight and the 2 big tier 5s because I may want to sell them in the future, but you should definitely be bonding anything with a really high power. I would do all the tier 4s, tier 5s, and tier 3s at a minimum, and then have a look at the tier 2s as well. I haven't actually bonded many of the Lynxes, and I will actually have to go through and do that because they can give you some serious power spikes when you're bonding those links, so they are really important to do. But the other one I'm missing is actually cling. So if I jump back to the album here, I can type in the sloth line, click that right there, and then I can go and I can bond one of my clings, and I'll show you this right here. This one, the other thing you want to look for is really good background. So that's the tier 3 background. The tier 4 is the Nexus. We have the building and everything. And the tier 5 has a lot of coins and stuff like that. You want to focus on bonding those backgrounds, because if you have one of each of those backgrounds bonded, they're going to give you double points, because they're also going to go into your background album. And then any alluvial with 4 synergies is going to give you quadruple points, because they're going to go in 4 different synergy plates. For example, Adorius is Spore and Mystic. That is a bad example. Sorry. Okay, that's going to go in 3 plates. You'll get the idea. Mystic is 2 times Empath, so it will go in Empath. And Spore is Air and Nature, and so it will go both of them as well as in the Adorius line, and in the Set 1 Wave 3 line, and the Set 1 line. And then any backgrounds that it's filling and any accessories that it's filling, it's going to go in all of them as well. So you don't want to double up accessories too much. For example, you have 2 tier 5s and they're both incredible. Give them different accessories. Maybe one's going to have the really big tier 5 accessory and one's going to have the really big tier 4 accessory. You're going to be able to maximize their potential by splitting it up that way. Now, that is for the sloth. So let's bond this one right here. We can see he's a hollow please cling. We just click view Illuvitar on the Illuvidex. It's going to take a little bit of a second to verify that I'm human. Yeah, I don't know why. I should obviously be a human. You just click little bond right there. Make sure it's in the passport. I think you can still sign a wallet if this is in your secondary linked wallet, however. And then we just go to eyewear and we start finding things. Really, you shouldn't be using anything below like the 10% are all really good. Try and give them all 10% plus, but you shouldn't be using anything below the tier 3 stage 1 accessories to get the most out of your power. So I can give him the neon sunglasses in this case. We go to headwear. And then I will find the soldier helmet always looks great on something like a cling. I love giving the soldier helmets the things that are bulwarks. If we scroll down a little bit here, the stage 1 amulet is perfect, 8.75%. So that's all the minimum ones you should be giving to your Illuvitars. One of the radiating badges is probably fine, but I think I'm going to go with Grey Mozart antenna for this one this time. And then we'll give him a band-aid. The plain band-aid is really high, and we have the war paint. And then below that is the rainbow piercing. He is hollow, so I'm going to give him the rainbow piercing. I'm going to have a look how that looks. And now we can just bond him. And after you bond an Illuvitar, you will not have to forget to actually re-sleeve them all and do that process that I showed you at the start. So I recommend bonding them all first and then doing the big album re-sleeving and everything like that. I'm not going to log in and stuff now. I'm not going to bore you with that, but pretty much that's it. Make sure you're logged in, go and bond it. Very, very easy. Now, the leaderboard structure proposal and how many rewards you can earn. So here is the proposal right here. For the weekly leaderboards, basically it was 30 ILV every single week for one player. And if you're in the top 200, you're getting 0.2 ILV per week. 0.4 if you're in the top 140, 0.6 in the top 100. This leaderboard is really hard to compete in, especially if you're new, so the Wave 3 leaderboard is more important. And basically, this is a distribution here based on 5,000 ILV. How this Wave 3 leaderboard works is it starts off as 2,000 ILV, and for every 1 Ethereum spent in the Illuvium Beyond sale, not SILV2, it will increase this prize pool by 10 ILV. To make it easy, every 100 Ethereum will boost it by 1,000 ILV. And luckily for you, I've done the maths. Here is the revenue wallet right here. It's got 85 Ethereum in it. This is from all sales pertaining to Ethereum going to Illuvium. However, this gets drained every time the RevDiz mechanic is called, and that has happened more than once during this Illuvium Beyond sale since November 22. And so what I did was I sent the IMX API to Grok, as well as a bunch of other instruction and details and things like that, and I told it to build me a script. Now, I didn't want to spend too much time on this, so the script isn't perfect. It doesn't completely, I haven't got it to identify how many discs were minted because the ETH price fluctuates and that would have been really, really painful. although that would be the appropriate way to do it in the future, and that's how I would do it next time. But what I did is I had a look at that revenue wallet address, and I said every time Ethereum comes into this address and it's worth more than, let's say, $1, so I'm excluding all the fees, I'm going to assume that it's a disk purchase, although not all of them are. It's probably conflating a lot of things like cosmetic discs and things like that, although I don't think a whole lot of that stuff was purchased. But basically, it's going to have a look at all the Ethereum that came in since, I've got it set to like November 20, just to be safe. Since November 20, it sees all the Ethereum that comes in. That was a transaction over like $1.50, I think I set it to. And right here, I've got every single transaction. And what it totals to is 122 Ethereum. Initially, I really stuffed up the code and I had all the SRV2 and stuff there. And it was like, it said 5,000 here. And I'm like, okay, it's not 5,000 Ethereum. What went wrong? It was very funny. Anyways, I'm pretty sure this is quite accurate. Now, it's not perfect, so I'm going to round down. I reckon it's probably about 100 Ethereum. But I heard Roger and Rich say that it was about 120. So they've probably done the proper maths, and maybe I'm a lot closer than I actually thought I might be. But let's say it's about 100 Ethereum. That's 1,000 ILV additional. Now, if you go to the leaderboard over here and toggle on wave 3, you can see where you're positioned. Me personally, I'm currently positioned at number 60. And I need to ramp this up a little bit. It's actually really close in this entire heat between like 80 and 50 or so. Like you can see from me, it's only about like 50,000 points up until about like 40, so 20 spots. And then it starts jumping up really fast to 950k up here, which is really what I want to get to before the wave ends. And I recommend you do as well. I definitely think it's achievable, but how much ILV could these people earn? If you hit little drop down up the top here, that drop down right there, and then you type in the number, this will default to 2,000. But if you type in 3,000 here, you can see which players get which amount on the very right-hand side here. Now, if we have a look at me, I'm number 60. If we look across there, it would look like 15 ILV for me personally, but I think I can easily get in the maybe 2 brackets above or even 1, where 21 ILV would be about 400 USD into my account, which is plenty of money to spend on automated drone runs and to spend on wave 4 of Illuvium Beyond, which is coming in about a month from now. Now, if you haven't already, please go to your profile, add my creator code in the profile here. You just go to the profile, you go to account settings, I believe. And then right here, you've got referral code. Please, I've got Polemos on mine right now. Please put in Scoriox. I really appreciate it. When it expires and it gives you a little notification, please go and update it. I really, really appreciate it. I hope you learned something today. Leaderboard rewards are coming soon for the Illuvium Arena as well. So don't forget to check out this video so you can prepare.